Welcome to Behind the Muscle podcast. Today's guest is an NPC bodybuilder. Today's guest is Brandon Bell. Brandon, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me on, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I know you're less than one day out from stepping on stage at Nationals. So I don't want to take too much of your time. But before we kind of get into some of the nitty gritty, I want to ask you, Brandon, who are a few of your favorite bodybuilders of all time?
I have a few for sure. Flex Wheeler's up there at the top for sure. Anybody with full muscle bellies, big round shoulders, small waist, pretty look, pretty physique, symmetry. Flex Wheeler, mine is the number one guy. Flex Lewis as well. I love Flex Lewis. Those two are probably my favorite of all time, Flex Lewis and Flex Wheeler.
Okay, cool. Who are a couple of the guys currently in the IFBB that you really look up to their physiques?
I love Ian Belair. A lot of people don't love his physique, and I think he should be top 5 at the Olympia, in my personal opinion. Samson Dowd also, I think he's going to make a lot of noise this year. There's a bunch of guys in the Olympia this year, man. I mean, Andrew Jack, Big Rami. I mean, you got a ton of people, so it's going to be a good one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be fun. Okay. Tell us, Brandon, at what age you started lifting weights, and why did you start lifting weights at that specific age?
I started in high school. I've always played baseball and football growing up. I played college baseball, actually, Greensboro, North Carolina. After baseball is when I really got into bodybuilding. After baseball, I was always strong in baseball. Like I played when I played outfield, man, I was benching 405 playing baseball. So that's when I really, after baseball, I didn't know what else to really do. And I met my coach in the gym, and he was like, "You ever tried bodybuilding?" And I was like, "No." I really just, I guess you could say, a power lifter, just moving weight for the most part. But then he said I had the genetics to try bodybuilding, and I did my first show. I looked like trash, but I got better and better, and as the year goes on, I get better and better. So,
yeah. At what age were you, Brandon, when you did your first show then?
First show, 21. Yeah,
okay.
21.
Okay, cool.
25 now. So, I really believe tomorrow's gonna be I'm gonna surprise a lot of people. So, I'm super excited, man.
Yep, as you should be, and we're gonna get there. But before we get to that, why don't you just touch on a little bit more about your upbringing? So you said baseball was kind of a big part of your life, even playing it in college. What other sports did you play? And just talk a little bit about your childhood. Like, what are some of your fond memories from growing up before we kind of transition into the bodybuilding talk?
Yeah, so I mean, I was playing baseball starting out at T-ball. So I played baseball, my whole life. I did play a little football in high school, about sophomore year, and obviously that helped me put on some more size as well. But yeah, man, I've always had a good support system. My family's always supported anything I do. Even today, I have family here supporting me. So, I mean, without my family, I wouldn't be nowhere, man, for sure.
Where did you grow up, Brandon?
Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. Any outside of like your parents, was there like a coach or a teacher that, looking back on your younger years, do you feel like any of those type of people had a positive influence or a big impact on your life, or was it mostly just family?
Yeah, mostly family. I lost my dad at a young age. I was about 12 years old. He had lung cancer. And my uncle, he pretty much raised me from then on out. And, he made me the man I am today. And I'm very thankful for everything he's done for me. I wouldn't be here without him. Like I said, I wouldn't be anything without my family. So I'm a God man and a family man first, for sure.
Yeah, cool, man. Love it. Okay, so you said you played baseball in college. So where did you go to college? What did you study? And what did you kind of want to do with your life when you went to college and when you were in college?
Yeah, so I went to Greensboro. It was a JUCO college, so community college. Guilford Tech is what it's called in Greensboro, North Carolina. I didn't graduate. I was going for associates in arts. Like I said, I was too worried about sports, man. I wouldn't focus on the grades. So it all went downhill from there. My dream was to be a pro baseball player, and that fell through the cracks. And so after that is like I said, when I really got into bodybuilding, and I'm glad it happened the way it happened, because if it didn't happen that way, I wouldn't be here where I am today. So I'm very thankful for everything that happens.
Was it tough for you? I know after I quit playing college football after my freshman year, it was really hard on me in terms of just trying to figure out who I was outside of sports. Did you have a little bit of a struggle when you were done playing baseball in terms of like who Brandon Bell was outside of being a baseball player or an athlete? Talk about that for a quick minute.
Yes, definitely. So I mean, losing my dad at a young age, and losing a lot of people at a young age. I did go to drugs and alcohol at a young age. So, after I got away from that, I got tired of being a nobody. So, I just want to be somebody. And I love bodybuilding, man. I love the sport. I really think I could be a Olympia competitor. So I'm just going to keep pushing, and I got the best coach in the game. He's not very known. His name is Derek Denton. He's not very known as well, but he's been competing for 20 plus years. He knows bodybuilding for sure. He's one of the main guys. Like I said, if I didn't meet him, I'd still be probably powerlifting. So I'm very thankful to meet him as well. He's guided me. He's been with me since day one. We've been together about 4 or 5 years now. Each year we get better and better, and I seem to get bigger every year and harder and drier every year. So that's a good thing.
That's a very good thing, man. Okay, so talk about meeting your coach. You said his first name is Derek, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so talk about meeting him, and then talk about your first competition at 21, and then just unpack your competition history a little bit, because we all kind of like to hear kind of like where you guys started and where you're at now. So talk about that for a minute, connecting with Derek, and then unpack your history as a competitor.
Yeah, so I met him at the gym, obviously. I think I was doing rack pulls one day with like something stupid, 675, 700 pounds, just, doing dumb stuff, trying to impress people. And I was recording a video actually, and he was in the background, and I seen him staring at me. He's just staring the whole time. And then he come up to me after, and that's when we, got together. But yeah, man, I mean, if I wouldn't have met him, I wouldn't be here for sure.
Yeah. So then he kind of took you into your first competition at 21. How did that go? Did you enjoy that process, or not necessarily right away?
Yeah, not necessarily right away. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, man. I didn't have a clue about nutrition. I mean, I was drinking milk with protein shakes. I didn't have a clue. I mean, six weeks out, I was drinking milk, and I had to send him pictures on the regular. And he's like, "What'd you eat? What'd you drink?" I said, "Nothing." My girlfriend tells him at the time he's been drinking milk. So, yeah, like I said, I had no idea what I was doing, man. And I was about soft as a marshmallow the first show. I didn't even place, obviously, at my first show. I did the Victory Classic in Charlotte, North Carolina. Didn't place at all. Come back the next year, did the same show. I believe I got third that show. And then I did a show in Greensboro, second. And then that's when I did the North Carolina State Championships in 2021. Won that, immediately did nationals afterward. First national show ever, placed fourth out of maybe 36 in the heavyweight class last year. So, I mean, when I placed fourth, I really wanted to, obviously place top two to turn pro. But placing fourth at my first national show, man, I mean, I can't really complain about that. So, and, the judges said I needed to bring up the back and the bicep peak. And I definitely have done that this year. So I've definitely improved from last year. So I can only go up from here. So.
Okay. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you a little bit more about your coach, Derek, and stuff. Now, that first competition, you said you're like drinking milk and stuff, like a few weeks out from the show. Now, Derek, did he just kind of like, I mean, obviously he was helping you out on some level, but did he kind of just show you grace and kind of just be like, all right, he's going to have to kind of figure this out on his own? Like, how did he kind of coach you in the beginning, and has his coaching toward you changed over the last several years as you've taken this more serious?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I think he kind of let me, learn my own body. And he used to let me train, crazy heavy, or just, not really contracting the muscles like I should. Not proper training, not proper eating. I mean, he knows what I'm supposed to do, and I know what I'm supposed to do. But if I'm not doing it, I can't hold him accountable. So, um, but yeah, man. I mean, I know what to do now at this point. We get better and better each year. So, um, yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Now, after your first competition, and then you said you competed in a couple more. Now, what year was it that you won that your first overall in that state show?
Yeah, North Carolina State Championships was last year, 2021.
Okay.
Uh, Won the overall there, and then immediately did nationals 2 weeks after last year here in Orlando.
Okay, cool. Now, I want to ask you, Brandon, I like to ask this question to most of the people that I bring on. What do you think it was, outside of like somebody saying, hey, you've got the genetics for bodybuilding, I think you have some potential. Outside of that, like, what do you feel like really kind of pulled you into bodybuilding and has kind of kept you on the straight and narrow in terms of, pursuing this bodybuilding experience? Like, what really is it that drew you in and keeps you in there?
Well, I always have felt like I was too small, for one. I've always been insecure about how I looked in general, not just, muscle wise. I always been insecure about how I looked, and I always wanted to be bigger. I've always been friends with guys, men that were older than me, and I always just wanted to be, a lot bigger. And you know, it's hard to explain, man. I mean, I love the sport, man, and I just love it, dude. I can't get enough of it, man. It's like even after the show, I mean, I won't even take probably a week off. I mean, I'll just get right back into it. I mean, I'm just hungry, man. I really believe I can be a top pro. Um, I really do believe I can do it. So,
So, okay, you don't have to really share this if you don't want to, but what is it that you said you don't really like about yourself, or your body? Is it just being short, or like, I mean, what is that? Because we all have something like that, right? We all have a body part we don't like, or we don't like this about us. Like, what is it specifically for you? Is it just the height, or is it something else?
yeah, well, definitely the height. Not as much so now because 5'9" is actually the perfect height for bodybuilding. So, yeah, but when I was younger, playing sports like baseball and football, everybody was always taller than me. So that was definitely an insecurity. But I feel like it's definitely, going away for the most part. It's definitely in bodybuilding. So I'm very happy now in life for sure.
Cool. Okay, so you won that overall last year, and then 2 weeks later, you said you went to nationals. You got fourth place in the heavies, which last year's nationals was just unbelievably competitive. You said that you would obviously like to have walked away with a pro card, but what was kind of your takeaway being on the national stage for the first time, going for that pro card? Like, when the show was all done and the dust had kind of settled, so to speak, what were your thoughts, and how did that kind of motivate you going into this year?
Yeah, the national level is definitely a lot tougher than a local show. They will work your butt off, man. They will make you pose, 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 pose. So if you're not prepared, you're going to sweat. They're gonna expose you. So best advice I can give is be ready. Do your posing, be ready. Don't be holding water. Don't sweat, and just come prepared.
Yeah. So how did last year's nationals kind of motivate you going into 2022?
Well, the fourth place is definitely what motivated me the most. I felt like I should be the top two. Me and Justice Shire was in the middle of prejudging all morning last year, and I could see second, third place, and they had more size than I did, but I feel like my conditioning was pretty good. And like I said, it was my first national show, so I can't be too mad at it. But I feel like I definitely have made the improvements, and I'm just ready to get it going. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Right. Now, you haven't competed at all, leading up to nationals tomorrow, have you? You're just focused fully on nationals this year?
Yes, just fully focused on nationals.
Okay, cool. All right, so talk to us a little bit about, so you needed, the judges from last year's national said bicep peak, and then what was the other thing that you need to bring up, your back?
Yeah, more thickness in the back. Yeah, more detail
Okay.
in the mid lower.
Okay, so what did you do to focus on the bicep peak? Because I personally think a lot of that is genetic. Maybe you think differently. And then what did you focus on bringing up? How did you train to bring up that back thickness? Talk about that.
Yeah, so the back, moving a lot of weight is what I used to do for the back, thinking it would be all bent over rows, just to make the thickness in there. But I've really learned how to contract my back a lot better in the past year or two. And it's just been getting better and drier and seeing more detail through the top, mid, lower. Basically just using my elbows, man, the correct way and hitting the angles the correct way. Bicep wise, isolating the biceps, really squeezing, not going through the motions, taking my time. I mean, you look at Justin Shire as well. He's the guy that really slows it down and squeezes a lot. So, yeah, I'm big on that. And I've trained, I feel like almost every way there is to train, heavy weight, moving the weight, isolating, slowing it down, time under tension, every way there is to do it. So I think, slowing it down and isolating is one of the best things for any body part, really. So,
Yeah. What were some of those back movements that you focus on specifically for the density or the thickness?
yeah, one hand lat pull downs for sure. Bent over rows, controlled, not just moving the weight. Close grip cable rows, rack pulls. Uh, yeah, I mean, a lot more in there as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've just been taking it slow, man. Like, really being in the gym and taking my time, like not rushing through it. So when I get the blood in there and it feel like it's going to explode, that's when I know I'm doing it right. So
Right. Right. What kind of training split do you usually follow, Brandon?
yeah, Monday, International Chest Day. So I usually do chest and biceps Monday, back Tuesday. Let's see, shoulders Wednesday, legs Thursday, arms Friday, back again Saturday, Sunday off. It can vary as well. Sometimes I'll take Wednesday off. Most of the time, I always take Sundays off. But in prep, I usually don't take Wednesdays off. But yeah, I would, a weak point like being my back, my arms. Well, not really a weak point for the arms, but the back, I would train it twice a week. So to improve it as well, and throwing biceps in there on chest day, and having a whole individual arm day as well has definitely brought the arms up as well. So
Okay, cool, man. Okay, so kind of getting into this prep, how many weeks out did you and Derek start this prep for nationals?
20 weeks.
20 weeks. How does that compare to some of your other preps? About the same, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter?
Uh, I would say this year has been a lot easier, man, because I've been eating a lot more food. I'm not like last year. I was peeled. I was a lot smaller, but I also felt like trash. I sucked myself down way too much. Had no energy. This year I feel a lot better. I'm eating a lot more food. I'm a lot fuller and drier. So I just overall feel a lot healthier and just feel overall better. So
Yeah. How much cardio have you guys gotten up to? What was like kind of the max during this prep, Brandon?
honestly, man, 20 minutes in the morning and 20 and not a whole lot of cardio. I mean, the carbs I've kept them. I mean, I was eating 250 carbs all the way till Wednesday this week. So I'm not really going carb loading either. So I mean, I think just in my opinion, there's not really nothing I need to change since I look so good. I'm just gonna stick with what I'm doing, and it's working. So I might as well stick with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, now when did you guys get into Orlando? And then just talk a little bit about what people call this peak week. Some people don't like that word, whatever. We're just going to use it for the sake of simplicity. But when did you get into Orlando? And then what does kind of this whole week kind of look like for you? When did you weigh in? Just touch on that for a couple minutes.
Yeah, so I lived in North Carolina. To drive here, we drove here, didn't fly, so it was about 7 hours and 20, 30 minutes. Yeah, we got here right at 7 p.m. last night, and the weigh-ins was from 2 to 8 p.m. So I barely made it in time. So, and I was kind of worried about making weight, heavyweight wise, but I made it. I was 221, so the cutoff is 225 and a half, I believe. So, uh, yeah, we made weight. And then today, man, just been chilling, kicking the feet up. Got a tan later tonight, tan in the morning, and then it's showtime.
Okay. Are you guys are you pushing the carbs pretty hard then today, or what's that kind of look like?
Yeah, we did 250 Wednesday. Yesterday we did 125, lowered it down. Today we did 125 again. Uh, yeah, I mean, and that's it. And
Okay.
I'll probably have 25, maybe 50 in the morning before going stage, and I'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. What's are you a cream of rice kind of guy, regular rice? What's your main carb sources?
Yeah, jasmine rice, man, jasmine rice.
Jasmine. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Now, obviously, your expectation, I'm assuming, tomorrow is to win your class, get your pro card. Are you wanting to also win the overall? Is that an expectation of yours, or talk to us a little bit about what your expectation is for yourself tomorrow?
Yeah, I definitely think I can win the overall. I want to win the overall. I mean, I don't really see any reason why I can't win the overall. Um, I'm sure there's gonna be some guys bigger than me in the super heavies. But if I stand beside them, man, I feel like I can hold my own. Proportion wise, I have everything complete. I feel like the back may be, still each year is gonna get better and better. It's the only thing I feel like it may hurt me just a tad, but it definitely has improved from last year. And I feel like my full muscle belly, small waist, tight waist, keeping that waist in with the the big arms and the big legs and just overall proportion symmetry. I think I can win the overall for sure.
Nice. Uh, it's gonna be awesome, man. I'm excited. Do you know how many guys specifically are in the heavyweight class? Have you heard that or not?
No, I have not, but I do know last year it was a ton, so I'm sure it'll be loaded again this year. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, I know there's going to be a lot. I've had a lot of the guys on the podcast, so I'm sure it'll be pretty deep. Now, obviously, you're on social media, you're on Instagram and stuff, Brandon. How do you kind of approach social media going into a competition like Nationals? Are you on there all the time, checking out your competition? Do you have your blinders on, just doing what you need to do in terms of posts? Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
yeah, I mean, I will check it out. I'll see who's competing and who I think I might have to worry about. So yeah, I'll check it out, but I don't really post a whole lot. I try to surprise people with my physique, but I think not posting as much as can be good as well. And if you post all the time, I feel like some people, man, they just post, and they don't really get that wow factor when they get on stage. So I want to walk out there and people be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" So
Yeah. Yeah. I like that mentality, man. Okay, now I won't ask you to talk about anybody that you're competing against in terms of the heavyweight class, but in terms of possibly who you might go against in the overall, are there any guys that that you really think you're going to probably meet in the overall if you get to that point tomorrow?
I'm not really sure who else is in the super heavies or whatnot. I do know, if I make it to the overall, all the people I know is the heavyweight guys. So if I make it to the overall, I don't really know anybody else competing super heavyweight wise. Um, but yeah, so
Do you know
I
who
think
Ryan Foster is?
yes, I do actually. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Yeah, yeah. I
Don't
mean,
forget about him, man, because he's going to be some good competition.
yeah, for sure. But like I said, man, I think I could beat anyone and everyone. So
Good.
if I'm not training for second place. These guys that say I'm happy with this and that, 15th or 12th, whatever. I'm not happy with that. I hold myself accountable. I have expectations. I want to be a pro. I want to be a top pro. I don't just want to be on a national level. I don't want to barely turn pro. I want to win. I want to make a statement. I want to bring the house down, and I want to go on that pro stage 2023, 2024. So
Love it, man. Love the attitude. Love the mentality. Now I know you're connected with Hostile, and so I'm sure you probably like Justin Shire and some of these other IFBB pros that are kind of the part of the Hostile family. I'm sure you are friends with. You talk to them. Any pros or anybody that you're connected with in the bodybuilding community in terms of giving you some advice here, maybe just leading into nationals or over the last year or two, what's some wisdom or advice that somebody's kind of given you in the bodybuilding community that you've kind of really held on to here recently?
Yeah, so when I signed with Hostile last year, Fuad really gave me a lot of advice, and he really believes in me, and I look up to him more than a lot of people, man. I love Hostile, and I hope I can stay with these guys for a long time. So I would say him and Ben Chow. Ben Chow, he's gave me some advice as well. Other than that, really, man, just my coach and my supporters. Uh, that's about it, really, man.
Well, what's something Fuad's kind of told you outside of just saying he believes in you? What's something that maybe made you feel good, or something that's really kind of helped you kind of push forward sometimes that maybe he's shared with you?
Well, just for them to be talking about me in general, motivates me. So, I'm really, I'm really, when people talk about me, man, it really gets to me. Even if it is negative or if it's positive, it bothers me, and I have to learn how to, the negative comments, I have to deal with those, but the positive comments, I really take those in as well. And, I appreciate everybody, man. So I'm just very thankful.
Hmm. How do you go about like kind of setting goals for yourself, Brandon? Are you somebody that writes things down? Are you somebody that just kind of has them in the back of your head? How do you approach goal setting for life and bodybuilding, business, whatever you've got going on?
Yeah, I'm not really big. I don't really write a whole lot of stuff down. So yeah, I guess I would have to say I keep it in my head.
Okay.
I'm always thinking, man, 24/7. So
How do you pay the bills? Are you a coach, trainer? Is that kind of your profession?
currently a delivery driver, man. My girlfriend, she does a lot of work as well. I do a little personal training on the side also. So yeah, I definitely I want to make bodybuilding my full-time career. I want to make a career out of this and living. So, I'm putting all chips on the table. I'm giving it all I have. So
Awesome. Okay, now you said that you want to be a top pro. You've said that a couple times. So if and when you get your pro card, it sounds like the plan would be if you get it at nationals this year, you're going to take all of next year off, and then the plan would be to step on stage in 2024. Is that kind of what I'm gathering from you?
yeah, more than likely yes, unless I think I'm ready ahead of time, which I probably do need a whole year to put on, the muscle I need to put on. So yeah, I would say probably 2024.
Okay. Awesome, man. And then do you have like a long-term goal? Do you want to win the Mr. Olympia? Is that something that you realistically are gunning for?
Realistically, I mean, I think I could, man. Honestly, not now, obviously. I mean, we're gonna have to put on a lot of size, but I really believe I have the genetics. I think I really can do it, man. I mean, I believe in myself first more than anybody else. So I really do believe I could, win. So
Yeah. Love it, man. Um, what do you do, or do you do anything like during the prep? Have you been doing like getting any body work done? Do you go to the chiropractor? Do you get massaged? And if so, talk about that, and how does that kind of help you, and how important is that to the prep process?
yeah, deep tissue massage. I've actually had that done on my back, so that's helped my detail come out a whole lot. I've done that for 3 or 4 times this prep leading up to the show. Not a whole lot. I need to do a lot more actually. My shoulders are very tight. From benching 500-600 pounds a couple years ago. So I mean, I need to get some work done for sure. But I believe once I do keep getting more work done, I think I'll look better and better. So
Yeah, yeah. Man, Jay Cutler, dude, one of the best of all time. He's a pretty big proponent of the body work, and you can kind of
yeah,
see even post professional bodybuilding career how healthy he's stayed and held up. So I think that kind of speaks volumes. So
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, we're gonna kind of keep it short because you're less than 24 hours out from the stage. We're gonna wrap it up here now. From my understanding of talking to some of the other guys that are gonna be competing tomorrow, all the ladies divisions are going today, Friday, and then all of you guys are going tomorrow. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir. So prejudging tomorrow is 8 a.m. and finals will be at 5:30 p.m.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And that sounds like that's going to hopefully go a little bit smoother because that's not how it's been done in the past. Last year, I heard nationals are just crazy long and just drawn out, huh?
Yeah, man. So that's another reason why I felt like I should have won last year, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, the girls, they went over into Saturday. So they had so many girls last year that it went over into Saturday. And man, I wasn't, prepared to bring way more meals than I thought I had. We didn't get on stage till 12 o'clock midnight, the men. And, I ate a whole pack of rice cakes and I looked just flat as a pancake. And I was shredded, but I just felt super small, man. And, this year's, I hope it's going to be a little bit smoother. And I prepared this year food wise. So I'm definitely not going to be flat or nothing like that. So,
Right. Very cool, man. Okay, kind of the last question I'll ask here, Brandon, then we'll wrap it up. What do you feel like bodybuilding has given you, or what do you feel like bodybuilding has taught you?
it's definitely taught me discipline for sure. Yeah, it taught me discipline, how to be a man, how to, grow up. If I didn't have bodybuilding, man, I don't know what I would be doing. I'd probably be, on drugs or, doing crazy stuff, So anytime I see these young kids in the gym, man, even if they don't know what they're doing, I mean, I'm just glad they're in the gym, it's better than being on the streets. So I'm just thankful for everything I have in my life, man. I'm very blessed. I have a great support system around me. Anything more, man. I mean, if I didn't have my family, I don't know where I would be. They've done so much for me, man. And actually, I like to speak on one more thing before we go. My coach, Derek Denton, we had our best friend. His name was Ron Byram. He just passed away this past Monday. He had cancer, and he actually had a heart attack. So I put up a post earlier in the week saying I was going to dedicate nationals to him. But yeah, man, he was only 43 years old, man. And I mean, we worked out, me, Derek, and him was actually like the three amigos, man. We trained for about, 3 to 4 years, and then he got cancer, man, and couldn't come to the gym as much, and ended up having a heart attack, man, just because he was holding a lot of water and whatnot. So I'm dedicating this to him, and I'm bringing it home for my boy. So
Beautiful, man, love it. Why don't you give us your Instagram, Brandon, so people can connect with you on IG? And if there's anything else that you want to shout out, I know again you're connect with Hostile, so anything about that, anything you want to leave with us, go for it, and then I'll do a quick outro and I'll let you go, man.
Yeah, so the Instagram is at BBLift, BBLIFT, all lowercase, and the Hostile. You can use my code BELL10, all capitalized, for saving on Hostile. So
cool. Awesome, man. Okay, Brandon. Again, I just want to say thanks for coming on, man. It's long overdue. I've been trying to get you on for quite a while, so I really appreciate it. When Nationals wraps up, if we can maybe make this happen again sometime next week or in a couple weeks after the dust settles, I would love to get you back on. We'll do a wrap up, and I'll get to introduce you as an IFBB Pro as opposed to an NPC bodybuilder. Does that sound okay with you?
Sounds very good, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yep, you're very welcome. I'm going to do a quick outro, man, and then I'll let you go, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. All of you who are tuning into this episode of Behind the Muscle Podcast, I just want to say thank you so very much. If you guys have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button in regards to BTM on YouTube. Also, please take this episode with Brandon, share it on your Instagram stories. Make sure you tag Brandon, tag Behind the Muscle, so that we know that you listen specifically to this episode and found great value in it, in which I know you did. If you guys are not following Brandon yet on Instagram, make sure you give him a follow. Just send him some positive encouragement as he is going to be stepping on that national stage tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd. So just make sure you guys give him a follow, give him some encouragement. And I just really want to say I appreciate all of you. As usual, I will leave you all with this. Remember, behind the muscle, there's always a story. We'll catch you guys later.